You talk a lot about valuing relationships over money. I think that's an interesting concept because I talk about that a lot too. I say like people should invest in relationships before money and stuff. So a question that I think a lot about, and I'm curious if you have an answer to this, is what actually makes a relationship valuable? When you look at the people around you and you go, oh, these are the relationships I want to see. What are the traits you look for?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think that there's going to be different relationships that maybe fill certain parts in your life that they're valued differently. You know, you're going to have business relationships, you're going to have personal relationships, you're going to have family relationships. I think number one, that there should be a mutual value exchange. That anytime a relationship has an imbalance, when one is giving more than the other, there becomes a deficit in the relationship. You know what I mean? And sometimes people, I think, you know, we all have those friends that the only time they call you is when they need something. You know, it's like they're calling you up, and it's like as soon as you see their number on your phone, you're like, oh, they need some money, you know, they need me to help them move or something like that. Well, there's going to come a time when they call you and you're going to send them to voicemail because you know the only time they call you is because they need something. So I think that a strong relationship is built between a mutual give and take in the relationship where there's a balance in that. But with that being said, I think that there also has to be in our lives, there has to be relationships that we are the dominant giving. You know what I mean? That we are giving more in that. And then on the other side, there is going to be relationships that we have with individuals that they pour into us. They pour into us. So there's a balance, but you know, for lasting relationships and relationships that grow and flourish, there has to be that balance of give and take.
That's interesting. It's very different from how I approach the question. When I think about what makes a relationship valuable, which I asked myself this question for a long time, I came to three traits, which is one, conversation quality. I think there's a very popular quote, small minds talk about people, medium minds talk about things, great minds talk about ideas. When you're around a lot of people who talk about great ideas, you want to go do great things. And I think even that quote, you're a product of five most people you surround yourself with. I think it's a great quote, but I actually have an unpopular opinion that I think it's not the best quote, because it implies that you just get around successful people and then you become successful. And the scenario that I thought in my head, which is very super specific, is like, well, what if I went into a prison and I hung out with murderers and like the worst possible people? Let's say I went in there for a month, and on the juxtapose, I went in a room with 5 billionaires. And it's like, by that quote standard, if I was in the room with the billionaires, I would become more successful. Because they're all more successful. But what if in this place, I'm doing a prison ministry and I'm teaching them, I'm doing these things that I get to help and hear their stories and build compassion. And maybe in this place, they're just talking about business terms that are so big for my brain that it's... Of course. It's like, so what I thought is the better explanation for that quote. It's obviously true, but why is it true? Is because you're a product of the conversations you have. The reason it would be bad to hang out with these people is because if they keep talking about bad things, it's gonna come. So one, I say conversation quality. Two, I say new experiences. So supply and demand. The more you have of something, the less it's worth. People always think about this in terms of money, but they don't always think about it in terms of experiences. So people my age, a lot of people my age have friends that live for the Saturday night bar trip. So every Saturday they want to go to the bar. But the more Saturdays you spend in the bar, inherently, the less valuable that is. So the people that I see as my most fun and exciting friends are the ones who are like, they keep switching it up. Oh, let's go on a road trip. Let's go film a podcast. I have one friend, Chris, who I've only known him a year. And since knowing him, We've gone door to door and filmed podcasts at mansions. We've gone to Madrid, New York City. We've gone to creator events. And I'm like, I feel like I've lived 10 years of friendship with this guy.
That's a great way. Yeah.
And then the last one, which is really big, is being a connector. So like, I think in high school, I was trained to almost be cliquey. So maybe I had a friend from football and I had a friend from entrepreneurship club, and I thought these two people would be such good friends, but I would be scared to introduce them because I thought, oh, if they're not good friends, it's going to reflect poorly on me. And that's partially because I was in judgmental environments. Like, I had been judged, so I thought, okay, I can't. But as I got more into the entrepreneurship world, and especially more into the church world, people are constantly including others.
Yeah.
When you include others want to include you.
Yeah.
And so those are the three traits I look for, what makes relationship valuable: conversation quality, new experiences, and being a connector, which is a very different answer.
I like that. But if you think about it, all of those attributes are there.
Yeah.
When you kind of like measure them, you want there to be this balance of, the experiences and everything like that. And yeah, that's very cool. But I like the way you break that down.